President Trump has just dropped a bombshell, providing proof of what conspiracy researchers have been saying for years. This isn't speculation anymore, it's vindication. Joe Biden was replaced, not just by one body double, but by a rotating cast of actors, AI-generated holograms, and even clones. The man we saw shaking hands with thin air? The man stumbling through speeches and staring blankly into space? The man beaming with happiness while meeting President-elect Trump in the White House after the election? That wasn't the Joe Biden we knew. According to insiders, that was never Joe Biden at all. Now, in a stunning development, members of Biden's own family are quietly admitting what the media refuses to touch: that the real man behind the Biden mask vanished in 2019. And what followed was the most elaborate puppet presidency in American history. But who was pulling the strings, and why? This is where it gets dark. Before we dive in, join the TPV free speech community over on Soju. Soju is a digital space where ideas and information can take place without any annoying algorithms or restrictive rules getting in the way of free expression. What happens when an entire movement is built on deception? We could be about to find out. President Trump has vowed to expose the illusion, posting a message on Truth Social that read, "They stole the 2020 election and hijacked the country using a decrepit corpse as a frontman. They used an autopen to start wars, steal from our treasury, and pardon their friends, arrest those responsible and charge them with treason." But Trump was just warming up, testing the waters, seeing how much truth the public could handle. And then he drops the hammer, a Truth Social post that shattered the narrative. According to Trump, the real Joe Biden never even made it to the White House, because the global elite had eliminated him before he could take office in 2020. That's right. What we've been watching for the last 4 years wasn't a presidency, it was a puppet show, a staged performance, a controlled illusion. And the man behind the desk? Just a stand-in, a mask. Now, Trump has taken it a step further. He's personally authorized the Justice Department's investigation. And it starts with something most Americans overlooked: the use of an autopen to sign presidential pardons. Think about that. We're told that these are the most powerful decisions a president can make. And yet, they were rubber stamped by a machine. Because let's face it, a real living conscious president doesn't need a robotic arm to sign historic documents. Unless he wasn't there to sign them at all. This week, Trump's AI czar David Sachs revealed that Elizabeth Warren, the far-left Massachusetts senator, controlled the autopen during that administration, doing the bidding of the global elite.
This is the financial system of the future, Jesse, and we have to encourage it. What the Biden administration was doing, and let's face it, it wasn't Biden. Elizabeth Warren controlled the autopen during that administration.
But Trump wasn't finished, not even close. Because as wild as that theory sounds, there's evidence, and a lot of it. And once you see the cracks in the illusion, you can't unsee them. Just one day after his disastrous debate meltdown, where he slurred, stumbled and whispered through the night, a re-energized Joe Biden took the stage. But something was off. Gone was the frail, faltering man who couldn't finish a sentence. In his place, a booming, confident speaker with a steady voice and sharp delivery. His energy, off the charts. His voice, strikingly different. And his eye colour, not even the same. Within hours, accusations exploded across the internet. Was this really Joe Biden? Or had the Democrats just rolled out another body double? But the strangest part? The crowd didn't seem to care. They cheered, they clapped, they believed. Because they wanted to believe.
We want to provide clean drinking, quality education for every child.
Is that Joe? He's okay now? From that cold?
And unlike the other guy, we're going to stand up.
That doesn't look like Joe. That's not the energy that was in the room last night during the debate.
For
What was that?
protect and defend our democracy. It's more than anything else. That is freedom.
I thought he had blue eyes.
What you did last night, but I spent 90 minutes on the stage and debating a guy who has the morals of an alley cat.
And what was that in his mouth that was hanging out?
Many people believe the globalist elite selected Joe Biden to have a compromised puppet in the White House, whose strings could be controlled by hidden hands. We are now witnessing evidence of the charade, and we are compiling evidence of their deceptions. One of the actors pretending to be Joe Biden was caught walking to his car in a back parking lot without Secret Service, looking far more sprightly than the man who had to be helped off the debate stage by his wife.
Joe Biden, roll the back. Is that you? No, Joe Biden. Hey, Joe. Are you the body double? It's the body double. Hey, Joe.
Oh, the cops don't even want you.
This is the one that you see on CNN. But where's the real Joe?
The White House has Joes in different postcodes. For those who've been paying attention, there has been evidence that they've been doing this stuff since the very first days of Biden's term in office. This backs up Trump's claims that the real Joe Biden did not serve a single day in office. Watch these two videos released by the White House on the same day last year, and pay close attention to Biden's physical appearance and his voice.
Folks, as we fight inflation, you can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. Bringing down gas prices is a big part of the job. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. And here's the good news. Gas prices have dropped every day this summer. That's more than 40 days in a row. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. We now have 40,000 gas stations in the United States where the price of gas is $3.99 or less. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that. How do we get the price down?
Will the real Joe Biden please stand up? Just as the frail and rasping Biden, who debated Trump, is clearly not the same re-energized Biden from the campaign event, it's clear that these two Joes are not the same man. Remember the video that supposedly took place on the White House lawn and featured what can only be described as a fake microphone? Or was that microphone real and Joe Biden fake? It's a lot easier to control actors and deepfake AI puppets than real leaders elected by we the people. With an AI deepfake, they don't even need to use the same actor all the time. And the actor doesn't have to resemble the person they're supposed to be. They just switch out the actor and add a deepfake on top in post-production. The globalist deceptions do not end there. Wait till you hear what a former CIA chief of disguise has admitted about what they were doing while she was at the agency. And a Biden granddaughter has a bombshell admission about how the elite are using her grandfather in a Weekend at Bernie-style hoax. Today's sponsor is pillsforever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. Under Biden, the price of medicine in America has skyrocketed, and there are certain medicines Big Pharma don't want you to know about. That's why I've partnered with pillsforever.com. All of their FDA-approved medicines are the cheapest you'll find anywhere. More importantly, you can order medicines that Big Pharma don't want you to have, such as ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and fenbendazole. Speaking of fenbendazole, not only does it get rid of parasites that live inside your body, there have been studies that show fenbendazole can help with cancer. Listen to this testimony of Joe Tippins, a cancer survivor, thanks to fenbendazole.
2 years ago, Joe Tippins says he was told to go home, call hospice, and say his goodbyes. The doctors were unanimous. He was going to die of small cell lung cancer.
Once that kind of cancer goes that far afield, the odds of survival are less than 1%, and the median life expectancy is 3 months.
Tippins says he got a tip, not from a pharmacist, but a veterinarian. And in his desperation, he turned from people medicine to dog medicine. Specifically, fenbendazole.
My insurance company spent $1.2 million on me with traditional means before I switched to a $5 a week medicine that actually saved me.
Get 15% off using coupon code People's Voice at the checkouts. Please click the link below this video to take advantage of this fantastic offer. At this point, we have to ask, was there anything real about Joseph R. Biden? Or was the Biden presidency the biggest con job in history? Former CIA Chief of Disguise Jonah Mendez admits that while she was at the agency, they developed masks that can be used by actors to play the roles of important people in real life, including the president. Mendez also hinted that the CIA now has even more advanced technology in this area.
The mask is the culmination of a lot of work that we did at CIA over a period of, I'd say, 10 years, developing that technology. It was a big challenge to come up with something that finally actually animated and worked to really fool a person closer than 3-4 feet from you. But we did.
They learned the art.
We actually brought Hollywood back into our labs at one point to look at what we had done, and they were stunned. They're absolutely stunned.
Congratulations.
The fact that we're allowed to show it tells me the CIA have moved on. I don't know what they're doing. I shouldn't know. I'm dying to know, but I don't know.
Relax. You'll get to see it all later on.
So I'm proud to show people how good we got to that point and let them imagine. So what are they doing now?
Last year, the skin on Biden's neck gave the game away. Many people on social media, including Mendez, claimed that the man pretending to be the President of the United States was clearly wearing a mask.
North Carolina, and he was a very conservative guy who was very, very...
Oh my gosh, that's a mask.
African American when he got...
Holy cow.
He always had fights.
If you're wondering what that looks like from the front, consider Exhibit B.
You can't tell me this is normal. Look at his forehead. This is bullshit. That's a mask. That's a skin mask. It ain't normal. Look at it. Bullshit.
Joe Biden wasn't a president. He was a production. A travelling political theatre, complete with multiple actors, layers of prosthetics, team of makeup artists, and deep state illusionists working behind the curtain. Their mission? To sell a character and fool an entire nation. And who benefits most from a presidency that's all smoke and mirrors? Enter Barack Hussein Obama, the man who once joked, not so jokingly, that he'd love to serve a third term, if he could just whisper in the ear of a puppet president. Well, what if he wasn't just whispering? What if he was directing the entire show on behalf of the globalist elite?
And what you know now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats, looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. Wow. I'd be fine with that.
Unfortunately for the global elite and their treasonous coup d'etat, something unexpected happened. Americans started waking up. More and more people now see the Biden presidency for what it was, a carefully orchestrated fraud, a stealth operation to control the country from the shadows. And now, even his own family is scrambling, not to protect him, but to throw him under the bus, before the whole house of cards collapses. Biden's son Hunter calls him Pedo Peter behind his back. His daughter Ashley recently accused him of sexually molesting her as a child. The media called this out as fake news and Russian disinformation, until Ashley testified to a judge that her diary was real. And now his granddaughter, one of the lucky ones he chooses to acknowledge, says that he died in 2019 and has been played by actors ever since.
My grandfather, Joe Biden, does have a twin. And that twin is currently pretending to be Joe Biden in the White House. So, unfortunately, my grandfather, Joe Biden, passed away about 4 years ago. But, you know, he had built up this really long political career, and my family still wanted to have a bit of power in the U.S. government, so we just replaced Joe with his twin brother, Bo.
It's time for justice, not political theatre, but real accountability. The deep state operatives who ran this deception, the handlers, the enablers, the architects of the lie, they must be exposed and removed. Those who staged the Biden presidency like a Hollywood script, they didn't just fool a nation, they betrayed it. And the globalist elite behind the curtain? It's time they're treated for what they truly are, hostile foreign actors waging war by deception. President Trump says the next step is clear. military tribunals. Do you support him, or are you still clinging to the illusion? Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the crimes of the elite